Okay, let's call this November meeting of the Natural Resources Committee to order. And so first, let's have roll call.
Harrow,
Here.
Schoonover,
Here.
Vicky,
Here.
Hendricks,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Fleming. Have 5 for a quorum, sir.
All right. So was the meeting properly notified?
It was, sir.
Great, thanks. And we need approval of the agenda, so I need someone to, all right, motion by Robert and second by Randy. Here, sorry. I should use last names like last. Okay, anybody see anything in last month's minutes that needs change?
You
or
have to have a vote on the agenda.
Sorry.
You have to have a vote on the agenda.
Oh, yeah. All those in favor of approving the agenda as listed, say aye. Opposed? Now, minutes. Did anybody see anything from the minutes that needed change? No. All right. We'll say they're approved as posted. All right. Number 6 is public comment. Does anybody want to comment now? Okay. I see a couple people online. No comments from them? Okay. There's. All right, I guess we're on zoning petitions.
Right. Our first one is in Westford Township. He has an illegal non-conforming parcel right now, so this is a cleanup. We're wanting to rezone it to ag residential. I did have one neighbor contact me, just asking who the neighbor was and what was happening. I explained it to him and they said, great, thanks for the info. No complaints.
All right, so need a motion to approve this. Mr. McKee moves.
I'll second.
Fleming seconds it. So, okay, discussion. I was curious, was there, what precipitated this? Were they gonna do an outbuilding or something, or how did it come up?
I forgot my hearing aids.
Yeah, so they just want to sell the land.
Well, they want to sell it, so they just want to get the zoning corrected for that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions or discussion on this one? No? All right, so all those in favor of approving the petition, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right.
So our next one is Marshall Township. This is another illegal non-conforming parcel as it stands. Should be ag residential. It's 14 acres. This is also a conditional use to put a mobile home on that parcel. So that's how this came in, as he wants to use the land, I believe, for weekend hunting with his family. It's not going to be a permanent, year-round residence, but he wants to have the mobile home there. Plans to put a composting toilet in it. I had 2 calls on this one. One, when I told her what he was doing, she had no objection to the mobile home. The other one was concerned about a mobile home park, but didn't have any issues with an individual mobile home there.
All right. Need a motion to approve this one?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Discussion? I have a question. When they say they're going to use a composting toilet, do we confirm it's NSF certified and we inspect?
Yes, we have a sanitary application, and he has completed that, saying he's using a Sunmar composting toilet,
Sunmar.
which is on the approved list for the state. Yes, we do check that.
Great. Any other questions or comments on this one? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
Our next one is a revisit from last month. Afton McKenzie is here again for the campground. rezone and conditional use for a campground. We talked about this last month as just the rezone because we didn't have the full township approval. They have approved in their last meeting, the campground for a 1-year trial period. So they approved this to be rezoned to residential. It's 4 acres. We are asking, or she is asking for ag residential. It'll go to BOA on Thursday for a variance on the size of that, but that is then to allow the campground use in an ag residential zoning district.
Which is parcel numbers is? Which,
It's 7C on here, it's 0302747
okay,
1000.
okay, got it. Okay, so, we need a motion to get this, okay. Ms. Hendricks moves, Mr. Perry seconds. Discussion on this one?
I'm my neighbor. I live within 200 feet of Afghan's property, and I object fully. I can't run being there. We don't need it. That's part of God's country right in that area. We don't need the public coming into it at all. Not like that. If you want me to add more, I can, but that's basically what I've got in me. Remember, I live within 200 feet of her property.
Got it. So is this the one that's got the map and they've got it all figured out with an engineer?
Yes, she's been working with an engineer on it. Mhm.
Can we pull that up on the screen maybe?
I can, and I hadn't given it to you guys, I'm not sure where it was, but I.
We can put, oh, that's on, it should be up here, they know to see it.
There's another map, I will,
Yeah, there,
okay,
I thought it was up there.
It's in our packet.
Did it not?
No, it's further down. Keep scrolling.
Keep going.
There we go.
no, there's another one.
Oh, there's another one?
Yeah, that's the one from
Yeah.
the engineer.
That was the one was.
So back up.
Well, I mostly just wanted to make sure everyone could get an idea what it looked like. And the engineer one is fine too, but this gives the idea.
Yeah, I mean, that gives, the one that's up there that you have right there, it gives you a general idea, but I do have one that's from an engineer with the setbacks that's more specialized, and plus it will even get even more detailed and right onto the point with the engineer, so. I can continue to look to pull it up and I'll try to pass it around, they can look at it that way. But yeah, the same one that I had given last month.
Right. Now, is this the one we were waiting for yeah,
Correct.
Yep. So they did approve it at their second round with it for a 1-year trial period.
1-year trial?
Yes.
Do we have that approval in our packet?
It should be.
It possibly had. This one here.
Yeah.
The copies were we had, it's put it back there.
I know I have it in my email. I'm not sure if it's in there.
The minutes from Westford that I'm looking at say that they were gonna deny a campground until the zoning is completed.
That's August 7th.
Yeah,
If you look at the top of that, it's August 7th.
Right,
And then there's September 11th. Further up.
right.
yeah, I just made copies what they
And
had
also
there.
where it's west side is. September 11th, talks about that campground.
Right.
Okay, is Westford online?
So they did approve, we're saying, but we just don't have it in our packet.
Yeah, they did.
I have minutes showing that they approved for a 1-year term or
Well,
an email from the township.
after the fact, let's still get that in our, in
Go on it.
this meeting's minutes, so we show that, so we can all read it.
Absolutely.
If anybody can look at, we can look at that. So, it goes in that's the one that you would see best.
Right, no, we've seen that, yep.
I don't know if anybody else wanted to see it.
Okay, thank you.
It's good, I see plans that this would be the engineer, who's probably like the setbacks and exactly what the description of how the campsites would lay out individually.
Okay.
Thanks. So that's how the campsites would lay out individually, and then here's the overlay. Sometimes here's your setbacks, and this is what it would look like, so, you actually can't see.
Yeah, that's what I thought we mentioned last time, could it be this?
And
No,
that's,
That
that's,
copy, I
no,
thought you mentioned.
no,
that.
part of it, because it wasn't official improvements yet.
Okay.
This just happened.
And as I recall from last month, you're complying with all the DAT rules.
I'm
And
sorry, what was that?
you're planning to comply, you've been working with DAT
Oh, yeah.
to comply with all their regulations.
Definitely, everything. I'm even gonna have them, I have a corner fruit crib that's gonna be refurbished that I'm hiring the engineer to make the engineering plan to make sure it's safe for human habitability of it. So, yeah, with all of it, it's gonna be done to the T.
All right. Any questions coming from, yes,
Mr. Chair, it seems to me, we live in a county that's struggling. And when someone wants to make an investment in our county, I think we have to listen to that, pay attention, and whenever we can accommodate it, because that helps us grow. And right now, we're not growing.
Well, I guess if the township has already approved this on a 1-year term, there's really not a lot for us to talk about. So, I mean,
no, I mean, in terms of just doing the zoning piece that we're responsible for, it's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm just wondering where these campers would potentially be. How far is that to this gentleman's residence?
The farthest point away, so if you see, easy writers, you pull up any of the diagrams, even the one with, that's the, one green one that you have up here. So, go keep going down, or wherever, to the, like, the one that's like a cartoon, like a site map. Okay, so here we go. So the campers are, you can see listed right there where my driveway is. Bailey's property is all the way up to the top, where the very corner of it is, and his house is set back. I can't even see Bailey's house at all from my property. Even if I'm on like the farthest point, I can just see his roof of his A-frame that's set back in the valley. Around the whole property, you can't see anything that's up there. I guess, so, and there's gonna be like, there's a 90-foot setback from the center line, and it's up a hill. Down there's like a gully, I call it. So, I mean, it's far away. It's quite a ways away from him. It's more than, it's like 500 feet. I mean, and I'm not even having anything going on down by the road. So I'm not having anything going on for well over 90 feet. There's maybe people walking around looking for rocks in that gully, but there's gonna be no camping down there, no development down there. It's gonna be as natural as I possibly can. And I've actually have decided to take it down to 10 campsites because I really don't want to add a lot of infrastructure because it will take away from the naturalness of the property. So I'm proposing 10 campsites instead of 15.
And the township said 1-year trial.
Yes, sir. Their main contingency that they had was the garbage. The mindset that I have, and I'm still gonna imply, is pack it in, pack it out. It's leave it better, no trace, thing. But they did want me to put in garbage receptacles because people may not throw it if it's not in there. So I honor that, and I will put in some garbage, which I do because I do office work there. So I have my own garbage. So now I just have to follow the code and put in the barrier and follow the laws and how they want the area to be. So animals and safety issues now. So I'll just build that now
All
instead.
right.
So
Thank
that was their thing, so.
What is your major concern? Are you concerned about noise from the campground?
No, destruction, that's my concern. You want me to go on?
Well, not necessarily. I just wondered if it was noise, because it sounds
Okay.
like noise
All
wouldn't
right,
necessarily be the issue.
no, it's not the noise, it's the probable. Sooner or later, something's gonna happen that, it should be there. I guarantee you. I've lived in that area all my life. A campground should be part of it.
I can do everything, we all can do the best that we can to prevent or foresee any problematic issues. With that said, I have abnormal insurance. So if there's something like a physical damage to a property for some reason, that would, I would have coverage for that. I don't foresee that happening. People in the clientele that I am targeting, they're not UTV drivers running around, or they're not, it's really a less is more simple life, just get out in the woods, quiet, heal type of environment that I'm trying to just share. And we have a beautiful country, that's all, and I just want to share it.
Have you generated campground rules document yet?
I will have them there. I have some drafted, but I will have them implemented further into the registration process. There'll be rules that they have to go through and sign before they book. When they book, after they come to the property, there will be postage. I'll have signage that will have it listed on top of, right there as well. So, signage is very important for everybody involved, emergency services, me, guests, all of it. I'm very passionate about what I want to do. And like he said, I'm going to bring in revenue to our community. Like our township has only the utility companies and then Bunker Hill and Doc Donovan. And last time I knew, he's not taking patients anymore. So that's what it's a beautiful place. And I want to share it.
Great, thanks. We ready to vote?
I just had one more question. We have approved some other CUPs for campgrounds recently, correct?
Yeah.
Those are still, though they're not in place though, right? To know if there's been any issues or anything with those.
There's one on County Z out in Dayton Township that we approved in the spring, I think. As far as I know, he's up and running. I haven't heard any issues out there or anything. Yeah, what was there? Oh, and then the one up in Yuba on County C, but that one was just approved.
That one's recently.
A month or
Yeah,
two
they're
ago,
probably not.
like 2 months ago, yeah. We haven't had any issues come up. We have some other campgrounds around and
Mhm. Thank you.
I think there's just the fear about the old Bunker Hill thing. That's what his concern,
100%. I agree.
and you're totally
I
opposite
am
of that. so
completely opposite of
That's why I
that.
have no.
Completely opposite. It would not
I
be
have
tolerated
no
at all.
concern. But this is
Do you
different.
want me to add to make you more concerned?
No, I just feel that
Okay.
this is
All right.
a trial, and I think that's what a trial is all about, to prove to you that it's not gonna be that type of crowd.
Lady, thanks for your time.
You bet.
Okay, so, all in favor of approving this permit application? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so this one is passed.
Thank you.
But we'll have an expiration on that then, so we'll
Yeah.
revisit it next year with you.
I understand. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Heather.
I'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Okay, our next one then is a CUP only in Orion Township for a second accessory building. So this is a residential district. It's right in,
Give me the- Which one are we on?
it's 7V 02042221010.
Okay,
So it's residential district. Our ordinance says you can only have one accessory structure in a residential district. They have a shed already and are looking to add, a garage, another shed? Carport, sorry, a carport. So it's a second accessory structure. I did have one neighbor call, and kind of say, why would we consider going against the ordinance? Because the ordinance says only one accessory structure. I explained that it's this conditional use for a second accessory, and that's why it comes before our committee. There's one other neighbor that also has two accessory structures around him. He, I think, didn't want to see a lot of that popping up. I don't know if he's here. So that was the only concern I had. And like I said, I explained it's a conditional use. It's an extra step to be allowed to do it.
motion to approve this one, anyone? The second by Mr. Schoonover. Questions, discussion? None? Me neither. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And the last zoning petition is E. This is a conditional use for L&M Salvage. So they got a letter from the state saying that they had to have a conditional use on file. I believe it was triggered from a change in the ownership on the property. They changed it, just the name of it. I think a partner bought out somebody else, so technically the person in charge changed. So the state is saying, well, now you need a new permit for it.
And our CUPs need to be renewed when there's a new owner, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really all that's going on.
Yeah. So I do just want to point out this, it's multiple parcels. Most of it is in the shoreline zoning, which our ordinance says that salvage yards cannot be. However, this has been pre-existing since before shoreline, before all of that. So basically, we're just looking to permit it for the state, for the state's purposes, and keep everything as is, not change.
So it's grandfathered.
Basically, yeah.
A motion to approve, Mr. Schoonover, second by Ms. Fleming. Questions, discussion?
I think Eagle Township had a meeting, they put a
2-year, I believe, renewal.
Or
4, okay. So the state, I think, requires it to renew every 2 years. So, yep. So they went with 4. We were thinking 4 or 6 so that they don't have to come back to us every time. They're obviously going to be following the state. You've kept up on all of the state permits thus far. But yeah, there would be a time frame on this. So the township called for 4 years.
so we're just trying to align with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would we want to bring it back to us in 4 years, 6 years, whatever makes the most sense for you guys?
Is there
Mr. Perry?
anyone to speak for it?
Yeah, anyone here with comment on?
Oh, the owners.
I am the new owner.
Anything to add?
Not really. I'd like to just continue to operate as it has for some time. I've been there 35 years. I've been running it for the last 20. I just took over from last year.
Gotcha.
No.
I would not plan on any changes other than what we've done thus far, other than any regulations change that I have to accommodate to. But other than that, it's like to continue on as we have for 63 years.
That's right. Thanks. All right. Let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, where are we at? Is that done with the zoning petitions? Reports?
Uh, numbers, we're up to 75 sanitary permits issued this year.
Thank you.
Yes.
We had 13 in October.
Okay, it's approved.
We're up to 119 land use for the year with 17 in October. So I think October has been the busiest so far. Definitely a lot of sanitary installs too. And then other activities that, we've done, we went over to Goose Island Campground north of La Crosse. The three of us did, for a soils pop-up event. So they were, digging soil pits and looking at what type of soil, what type of system would be suitable for that site. But it was a little bit different because we're surrounded by floodplain there. So there's some extra things to think about, and that was a pretty good hands-on on-site. It was just 2 hours one afternoon. But we went over there and, had Jeff Brubaker from the state and people from counties around us there. We also just attended the WCCA conference, Thursday and Friday in the Dells at Chula Vista. So we, I think, came back with a lot of information. They covered everything from non-metallic mines to sanitary stuff to
London.
yeah, as well as what bills might be affecting zoning that are going through legislation right now. So we learned a lot from that too. I took my soil test last week as well, so I should be finding out if I have my certifications for that in the next 2 weeks.
And we've been having a lot of sanitary inspections and soil tests, last minute, end of the year type stuff. People want to get in before ground freezes.
Anything to bring back from the convention where you think you might change something?
I think something we're gonna have to be looking at, one thing is looking at our floodplain and our zoning ordinances, making sure they're up to date. Same thing with the sanitary, we're gonna need to probably look at all the ordinances and update those.
They've
Like fun.
completely eliminated the Wisconsin fund. So if there's any language in our sanitary ordinance that refers to that old part of the code, we have to take that out. So yeah, we'll be going through the sanitary code probably next year to update.
Found out the new contacts, there was new contacts for like the floodplain and the shoreline who we need to get a hold of, because there's been so many changes in DNR. I mean, that was a big thing, for me, it was like, what we need to do, who we need to talk to.
Anything else on zoning?
I have a question. Where are we at as far as the pumping? Because I know there were so many people that were behind on that.
Yeah, do you know how many we have?
I haven't looked at the number recently. I think we were at like 300 before, when we talked about it before in August, I think. And the last number, this was like a couple weeks ago, was I think 227 is what we still need. So still a ways to go.
Is that because the pumpers just are overwhelmed? Because I know they had a wait list of
Yeah.
people trying to get in.
Yeah, I know that, Boaz Sunrise Septic is still working on that list. They have a few more to go, but that one's almost complete. But it's not gonna cover the majority. There's definitely not 100 people on that list yet, so. Still a ways to go. We need to send out some letters, to just make sure they come into compliance. We were informed as well that you can't pump the septic too late in the year because it'll freeze and then there's not enough bacteria to keep the system working properly. So we have to be careful of that as well.
May just be, get it inspected and then in the spring, go out and pump it type thing.
Can I just have a question here? I'm the guy that petitioned the carport in Orient Township, and you approved it, and I thank you and appreciate that. However, I don't know why the costs are so excessive. I mean, I had to come up initially with a $500 check to get this ball rolling, and then I have to come up with another $100 for a building permit. Now, everybody I've talked to everywhere think that's really excessive. So can you explain to me why these exorbitant costs and just putting up a carport that has no electricity to it. It's not a permanent structure. It sits on a gravel floor and that's it. It's just to cover up my Kubota tractor that I use for my business and my pickup truck. Nothing excessive.
On our agenda later, we are gonna be talking about the fee structure, so maybe you'll get some background then when we talk about it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, where are we at?
Violations, unless we have any more zoning updates. Okay. I don't think we have any updates on violations. I have reached out to Attorney Wendell to see kind of where things are, and I imagine he's just as busy as we are this time of year. I haven't gotten a response from him. But we had a chicken, I don't remember if we brought up the chickens, we talked about the chicken ordinance, and we're gonna talk about that later, but we did have a complaint, in Sextonville, behind the airport, in that subdivision, that there are chickens free ranging there. And we had tried to send a certified letter and they did not sign for it and pick it up. So we cannot prove that it was delivered. But I just put it back in the mail in a regular envelope, hoping that at least it will reach them then and they will get the message that they can't have their chickens free ranging.
But this new wording on chickens is not actually in our official ordinance.
Not yet, no.
So we don't really have jurisdiction yet, right?
Well, it's a residential district.
Oh,
And they're
it
not
does
allowed
not-
in the residential.
There
gotcha.
are no animals allowed as our
Okay.
ordinance stands.
That's how it came
So,
out.
yeah.
Okay.
But otherwise, we continue to try and get people to come into compliance and get their permits in place. We've got a couple of sites that we know have septic systems that don't have a permit for it. That we've been working with Attorney Wendell, so.
And Attorney Wendell is still working with the county for those kinds of things?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more violation discussion? No? So land conservation then?
We've had I went to the, first time I haven't had an opportunity for a long time, but I went to the county conservationist meeting weeks ago, in Stevens Point. They had, like, extension came and talked, and, we're given a sheet that showed, kind of break down how, all what used to be county staff for the different disciplines. Now they've got it divided out, and now we can look at it, says who we need to go to for X, Y, and Z. So if somebody comes in with a question, we can direct them, or we can talk to, or we can direct them to the correct person. Their DNR, or Department of DNR is going to be conducting, and using us as to help them. They're going to they're gonna do it statewide, and they're gonna select so many parcels per county where, like, to see who the compliance with what's called NR 151, the state performance standards, ag performance standards, and seeing where they're at on that. And they'll be giving us a sheet to go out, and so, like, Corey and Corey and I may be going out and looking at different sites and checking off, okay, this person's in compliance with, nutrient management plan and no gully erosion, or there's no feedlot erosion, no stuff running off the feedlot, or depending what the site is.
How are they selecting the parcels?
They were asking us what we thought. They had little breakout little groups and talked about it. I'm not sure still how they're gonna select it, but they're gonna look at, we said, one thing we suggested, if you want, say, 5 parcels in a county, a smaller county like ours, maybe give us 10, because we may not be able to get on the farm to look at some people may say, oh, we don't want you to, look at this. So we wanted the opportunity to be able to say, okay, we have enough to select from. And another talk was, okay, say, Richard McKee has 200 acres. He's got a barnyard on parcel A, I'll call it A for now, but the parcel we're supposed to be checking is B. Are we supposed to look at the whole farm or just the parcel they're selected? And it looks like it'd be just the parcels they're selected. It doesn't mean we can't talk to them if there's an issue on the barnyard and we're looking at the cropland, that we can't talk to Mr. McKee about it, say, hey, maybe you wanna look at doing X, Y, and Z. But, that was one of the,
So is this random sampling of, is that kind of like in place of a transect or?
yes, because now all kinds are not doing the transect, but the transect survey is just on cropland. It doesn't take in the livestock, compliance with livestock.
Okay.
And I want, it's like a statewide, everybody in the state is doing it, not just the certain counties. So that was one of the big takes from that meeting, and just meeting with coworkers, you know. And then the other part of it, there's a lot of counties have gone to what our county did, which is combining land conservation and zoning and talk about the headaches and how to handle things. One of the gals from Portage County, my counterpart there, we were eating lunch the last day and she was talking about financial assurances for non-metallic mining. So I'm in touch with her because we really need to update those and how they calculate it, and maybe some other counties calculate their financial assurance to make sure it's up to date. We have enough money there to cover the costs. If it's a per acre fee or if it's so many, you know, how they're figured based on the high wall, or if it's a sand pit versus a quarry, you know, a gravel quarry. So
You might have to review the current permits and make adjustments.
we're supposed to do it every so many years, and I don't know when it was done last.
Okay.
Stepping into it
Yeah.
part way.
Yeah.
So Derek's still working with the Davies Engineering and Kaz and Boaz with the phosphorus reduction for their sanitary districts. And Corey's working on compliance, doing her final compliance checks. She was planning on being here this month, but she couldn't, something came up. So hopefully next month she can give the end of this month, she can give a report where she's at on the monitoring.
Okay.
So, the other thing is we had training Wednesday on the new LiDAR, the land information paid for on the, converting the LiDAR so it's a usable and how to use it. It's a website we go to. And we'll have to talk about, we'll have a land information council meeting on the 12th, I think. I gotta get it together, send it out today. And that's one of the things to be on the agenda, how we want to handle if we want it available to the public, or we want to wait a little bit to make it available to the public, make sure all the bugs are worked out.
So the days there, you're just now getting used to accessing it.
Yeah, we've been like 2 days now, so.
Okay.
And it's been very beneficial, even just from the trial, from what we learned. It's immense what we can do with it, so it's gonna be awesome.
One of the things is like a non-metallic mine, we found out a thing was, if there's a pond in the non-metallic mine, if it's if it has external drainage or it's within 500 feet of a waterway, then they need a chapter 30 waterway permit, waters permit.
So it's easier to check now. Okay.
So that's one of the things we can look at that. That's one of the things we can look at.
Well, I hope you make it public at some point.
Yeah, I think we will. It's just making sure all the bugs worked out and how we want to handle it, and, right, Julie?
Have to have more time with it, so then if the public calls, then we can field those calls correctly and get them in the right direction, so.
Anything else on land conservation? No. Oh, Mr. Haiti.
How's it going today?
Good.
So, start off, October was National 4-H. Well, the beginning of was National 4-H Week, so there was some different activities, things that were going on with the 4-H program. One of the fun things is always to find the medallion, and I believe they had it at the Aki school this year. And the Jelenic family was the ones who found that, so that was kind of fun. They do little clues to figure out where the medallion is, so it's kind of like a scavenger hunt to put different clue out on the radio and Facebook each day until they find the medallion. It's kind of a fun way to get some PR and exposure for 4-H during enrollment time. Some other things that were going on, I know they did every year, the youth who are planning on doing some 4-H experiences beyond the county, they have an interview process. So I know that application and interview process was done this past month. On the agriculture side of things, Beth had hosted a regional cattle workshop where they talked about grazing residues. So, after corn stuff, grazing pastures there, some things to consider for the beef cattle. Within that one, they also had some trucking quality assurance. So making sure that, like, how do you assess you're hauling the right, your equipment's all ready to go, trailer inspections, truck inspections, those kinds of things. Anastasia, they were working on doing their camelina plots, getting those, so they're putting lysimeters under the ground. They've been doing it for a couple of years now, getting some nitrogen flow rates through the winter. And I believe they were actually able to put an article in the Wisconsin Agriculturalist on some of their preliminary data for the first couple of years. So they've been doing that. And while it's kind of contrary to what we would think, right now is when the ag educators spend more time doing planning than actual educating, because the people we're hoping to educate are really, really busy this time of the year. So a lot of planning going on for what the winter programs are going to look like for the ag folks. And then Sarah has been working on, she finished up our Rent Smart program. So it's a 6-week, they did it online with some other educators. But it's a 6-week class about the rights and responsibilities of a renter, how to rent, what's landlord responsibilities, what are the renter's responsibilities, some things to look at when signing leases, those types of things, so that you put yourself in a good situation, both in that renting aspect. And she had a client, if any of you heard of the Working Wheels program. So for people who might be financially struggling, there's a program to help them get some financing or lower financing for a car to get to work and back. But part of that requirement is they have to meet with a personal financial budget and have some coaching after that. So we do that coaching for that program. So we had another client for that in October that she's been working with, and we had a couple other families that just were wanting to get doing some budget coaching as well. So a lot of different things happening there for extension. At the same time, we starting to get geared up for our shift off campus. So our shift off of campus. So as things are progressing with campus, we are working with Trish right now and figuring out space locations, and we'll be moving into the community services building probably
Over here in HHS.
Sometime in December is what last notification we had.
Okay.
So I know there's a lot of shuffling and stuff going on in there right now.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you. Any questions for me?
Questions for Adam?
You can have room for all that stuff? Where you moving?
There's been a lot of scaling back and choosing what we need and what we don't need.
Yeah, you don't have any of that on digital probably.
Well, there's a lot of it digital. I think sometimes there's a historic context of why we keep stuff. Sometimes there's the, access reason for keeping some of the stuff, because digital is great for a lot of stuff, but it's also not the only form of communication anymore. And we've just had some really long-standing programs where you accumulate stuff to do the program and you use it once or twice a year. Think of Get Real, for example, right? All the stuff that goes into that Get Real, the stands, the clipboards, just a lot of stuff that happens for that one day, and then you have to store it for a year. So we're looking at different strategies, things like that, for how might we be able to rearrange it.
You're working with Trish to figure out those kinds of things?
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a process.
Okay, yeah. We're ready for property lister.
Okay, so I'm still doing transfers. I'm trying to get to the end of October before tax time comes. Work hard to make sure that I get as many in. Parcel splits are being valued right now by the assessors, so those will go in if they, split in 2025, they split in 2026, we'll do that next year. We have 4 townships that split a year after, not in the current year. So that just makes it a little bit harder on the taxpayers because they have to meet with their people they sold to and split their tax bills. And the assessors will do that. That assessor will do that this year. It won't be the county's responsibility because he has the values. And then, we're getting ready for tax season. We're getting in our school districts and our aggregate ratios. Those are being put into the system. All that goes into the system to help generate the tax bills. And then we are having training this Thursday for clerks and treasurers. Hopefully this is our last, how to fill out the mill rate sheet and so that they're done correctly. So when they come in, that they're ready to roll and that we don't have a lot of asking for changes. So hopefully they've gotten all the tips and tricks and so hopefully they're ready to go.
How much are questions? All right. Zoning ordinance updates.
So I did, I put a packet in each one of your mailboxes there, so it's physically you could read through it instead of trying to do it on the online version. I added in the stuff we put about the chickens. And hopefully you read that. One of the things, I did send it on to Attorney Wendell. I've not heard anything from him. So don't know if that's good news or bad news. I taught, Forest Township reviewed it, didn't really hear a whole lot of changes that they really wanted.
Did you not get the email from Mr. Mathis?
Yeah.
Yeah. He did have one specific addition, and I know, at least in the version I was looking at, it didn't look like it had been incorporated yet.
You have to remind me what that was.
It had to do with when, well, let me,
I know I have it and yeah, it's,
it had to do with whenever there's a change that the zoning will get, pass it by them for boundaries, but he wanted to also add pass it by them when there's COPs and waivers. In other words, notify townships about more than just boundary changes.
I thought we had something there about CUPs too, but I'll make sure that's in
Well, like I
there.
say, I think I was looking at the latest version, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of versions floating around.
Yeah, I'll make sure that's under I thought there was, but usually we do get one approval from, on the CUPs too from township. We usually do ask. But we'll make sure that's in there. And the only one our township I heard from was Marshall. And they just wanted it so that we don't make it too difficult for people to improve their properties, meaning, like, we do need more housing and that sort of thing, and just be careful on the housing aspect of it.
Right. Well, we've not really changed anything.
No, and I don't know how we can change it in the ordinance. But I will make sure I'll go through this and make sure about the CUPs. We'll add that in.
Okay. I had a couple of questions. Wait, were you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was all township feedback, just a couple of them? Okay. Well, right now, as far as the public, we have, now that what do we call it, code ordinances, there's a link on the county's main page. This whole new arrangement of how all the county ordinances are listed. But we still have the old one on the zoning page, so What's our plan to either delete that or change it to a link?
I think we'll have to change it to like when everything's up and going, I think that we'll have to talk to MIS to do that
Yeah.
because we don't,
I'm just saying right now, there's two versions on the county website in different places, so we need to get that aligned.
yeah, we'll have to let them know, and maybe just provide a link to the code of ordinance.
Right, something like that. 'Cause,
Same
yeah,
thing goes with like all the other ordinances, like, we have the lunar storage and the what do you call it? Livestock sighting.
There's land division, there's several that are in that whole new ordinance thing, what do they call it, muni code or whatever.
Yeah,
That might make it a little harder to navigate if you're just wanting to look at zoning stuff. So maybe something we should think about is on the zoning page, maybe more than one link. Several links that'll send you to the right spot in the muni code for what they're looking
Yeah.
for.
we'll have to talk with MIS about that.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions, comments on the current version of the zoning ordinance?
One question, Mr. Chair. In attending meetings of other groups, I've heard that there's some discrepancy in certified survey maps, which are called for in our ordinance. Has that been a problem with the county?
No, we're gonna be talking a little bit about it if we want to change the wording. We've gotten ours, but on the size, but we've not, I don't know. I don't know, Todd, if you've heard anything.
No.
No, what's certified surveys as far as, we've not had any issues with people with the certified surveys. There's a land division ordinance has a section talking about it. We'll be talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, 11 on our agendas, we'll talk about CSMs.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to say to the committee is, if you haven't already, you need to go look at the muni code arrangement of all the ordinances, because the zoning pieces are there, but there's a whole lot of stuff, and the arrangement takes a little practice to get navigated. So if you haven't, you need to go in there and get used to finding what you're looking for. I'm still working on it.
And we may, that's one thing we're gonna be updating the county's farmland preservation plan this next year. And so we may have to do some tweaking to our zoning ordinance after that's gone. The state will look at it and see if there's any other things we need to tweak to it. So,
All right, so that's zoning ordinance updates. Anything else on?
yeah, I don't know so if you wanna wait until I hear from Mr. Wendell.
Yeah,
And hopefully then the month we'll know. If not, it'll be next year.
we don't have a deadline. We just
Yep,
try to get it as right as we can.
right, that, I don't wanna have to,
Revise it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Agreed. Wildlife damage, are we ready to talk about that?
yes, for, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Perry, this is, Greg Servin, he's the one that we contract with to do our wildlife damage. So, every year we have to approve a budget, and part of the budget process, every 5 years, we have to approve the contract with Mr. Servin to actually do the damage.
And with DNR.
Contract with DNR and with Mr. Servin.
You also have to set commodity prices for this year.
Will be later in this, I got that down later in the agenda.
Oh, okay, all right,
So we'll just talk about this first.
all right.
So we've got the contract, the budget, it's the same as what it's been the last few years, and it's actually in the 26 budget. I don't know if I thought I included it, but I don't. For the wildlife damage budget, the total is $21,200. It's administration, overhead, mileage, phone, and then abatement. And we have venison donation in there, but just in case, but we haven't done it the last few years because the Richland Locker just doesn't have the time to handle.
Right.
But if he ever does, we've got it in there in case something comes up or somebody else.
Comes available. that can
So
process
the-
that.
Then instant donation is somebody gets a deer, they donate it, it gets butchered and they have to hang on to it for a certain amount of time to make sure that it comes back negative for CWD. And then if it does come back negative, then it's distributed to the different food pantries in the area.
The last time I looked at the state's list of places that'll do it, there's no one anywhere near us. that I can
Right,
see.
the closest we've got is Fenimore, is the
Yeah.
closest place to do it, and that's Grant County's. But yeah, no, there's, without having Craig do it anymore, we don't have anything in Richland County.
Yeah, so it's not likely we'll.
No,
No, it's not, unless someone else, if someone would become licensed to process deer, we could use them,
Sure.
but they haven't done it. We have a few places in Richland County that does, but it's not a licensed one, for it has to be certified.
and the wildlife damage is like bear, cougar, deer, elk, goose, turkey, and sandhill cranes. The sandhill cranes won't be eligible unless they allow hunting of sandhill cranes.
Right.
Wait, say it again?
So we're allowed to, like,
We can assess the damage
damage,
of animals such as bear, deer, elk, cougar,
turkey,
sandhill crane, and turkeys. We are not allowed to hunt cougar. There's no licensing process for them, nor is there for sandhill crane, because that's a federal endangered bird yet. And so we just basically can assist them in trying to make noise or whatever to stop the damage from them, but we can't kill them. Do as an invasive process.
and around here bears, sometimes corn, but it's, a lot of it's
Beehives.
beehives. So anyway, that's what the contract is. And part of the contract is, like this year is the $21,200, the budget. So we need approval.
I just have a couple comments. Of course, there's a typo in the mileage there.
Yeah.
It's really 12,000. But what about, bobcats? There's a lot of bobcats in the area now.
Right,
Yeah.
they're not in the program, because of the fact that they really don't bother agricultural crops. We haven't had them, because this is to assist farmers to try to stop damage.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was,
Yeah.
they
no,
had,
no.
But I think
They
cougar
can
would be,
go under nuisance, but that's not this program. That's actually a different DNR program.
Okay.
The biologist can, look at ways to trap them, relocate them, that kind of stuff. But it's not part of this program. It's a different nuisance program.
I just didn't know if they did any kind of damage to.
No, they don't.
That's good.
and cougar is more the livestock.
It's a livestock issue, yeah.
There's a gentleman.
Out of curiosity, have you guys had any reports of lynx in the area?
We have not had anything, to actually document that they're here. There are trail cams that have caught them.
Okay.
But nothing that no one has reported per se.
Because I saw one the other year, and this is just way too big for a bobcat.
Yeah,
It's too small for a cougar.
that's right.
Short tail.
That gives it away right there. That's right.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
I just wondered if anybody else had seen it or if I was going crazy.
The trail cams are catching. They are out there.
So I guess we need a motion to approve the budget.
And their contract. Budget and contract.
Sorry, budget and contract. Everybody moved. So, say Mr. McKee moved and Harry seconded. Good. More discussion? All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Contract and budget.
Language for the CSM stuff. I put the CSM stuff up for basic, but
I have it here.
you have it here. I screwed it up.
You are.
I didn't put it in the packet, I don't think.
We're ready for CSM?
I printed it off,
Okay,
so it's in the packet. So, we brought to the board, the Natural Resources Board, a couple months ago that we wanted a change in the certified survey map wording. And, it was, asked that we go to the Land Information Council and see what they had to say. So we took it to them last month. We had a long discussion with everybody that was in the room. And at the end, we kind of came up with that, that we would add a verbiage into the land division governed by the chapter 10904.060. So we left in number 2, the certified survey map requirements. We left that in there, but we added a number 3. We added in addition to the above number 2, the certified survey map requirement, any change to the zoning of a parcel less than 35 acres will need a certified survey map. A development review prior to the submission of the certified survey map will be required by the zoning office for the purpose of determining any associated zoning or other issues. The filing with the Richland County Register of Deeds, which complies with Wisconsin State Statute 236.36 after the certified survey map has been reviewed. So in addition to the 10 acres, we are asking the board to approve less than 35 acres if there's a zoning change to that parcel. That was in your packet.
It's for the development. It's on page 4 of the ordinance.
Yep, 4 of 20 in the land division or
It's in red. There you go.
So, let's get this on the table for discussion. Anyone want to move to approve this? Ms. Fleming, anyone second? Mr. McKee? So as I recall, a lot of counties all do it a little different.
Yep.
And this puts us kind of in the middle of the pack.
So when we discussed it at the Land Information Council, it was kind of like we discussed the 10 acres and we discussed the penalties and we discussed what other counties are going to, like in number 2. So we're still gonna have that, but what we wanted to capture is when the zoning changes. Let's say you buy a 40 acres and you put a house on the 3 acres, and then you want to put a house on the 3 acres. It's still ag forest, but then that becomes residential. It's less than 35 acres, so it's 3 acres. So that becomes a certified survey map. So that way we can kind of keep track of what's being built. We can see what's coming down the pike. We can be proactive instead of reactive. So we also visited 3 different counties to kind of write this to see how they handled theirs. And when we wrote it, we kind of took into consideration what Land Information Council had given us for their recommendations, because we had a very lengthy conversation. So I think this is like the best of both worlds. I think it helps us internally, and it also gives the public, what they need.
And surrounding counties, SOC is less than 40. Short 40s don't require CSMs if the quarter is transferred and the boundaries are not altered. They're looking at going to any size. Iowa County is anything less than 40 acres. Crawford is less than 15. So those are, Vernon I don't think has it. And I don't know about Grant. Nobody from Grant County got back to me. But those are the 3 surrounding counties.
Any questions? Yes.
Question. So just to recap, what would this be as an additional cost to the landowner?
The certified survey map.
Which is how much?
It is, I think we're at $350.
No, it's $300 plus $20 a lot. $200 goes for the review. Right now, Todd's doing the reviews, but that's another story. We're gonna have to look for another surveyor, so we'll have to.
Well, but the CSM itself is expensive.
Right, and Todd would know more what cost, that's the cost of the survey.
Anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000.
Right.
Depending on complexity.
So that's your question.
For a certified survey map?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have to go out there and do the.
Right.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, if it's more than 10 acres, it's a plat of survey, I don't know how much, this is, they're selling land or buying land. I don't know how much plats surveys cost either.
Yeah, you're still in that same area. The big difference between a certified survey map and the plat survey, the plat survey doesn't require quite the stringent requirements as the CSM does. CSM requires that basically all the improvements on the site get located and shown on the map. Buildings, driveways, septic, well, that, all that has to be shown on the certified survey map.
So if you're selling or selling buying land, you know, you have to do a survey no matter what. If you're parceling off land, it's not a full parcel.
And again, we're talking about, we've talked to other counties, we're trying to get a handle on what's become normal or common procedure. Do you have more to add?
I just wanted to make just a quick comment. I don't know how long it takes from the time this committee, say the committee votes in favor of passing this. Obviously, there's a process that will have to go to the county board for final approval. I don't know what that time frame is in there. But a lot of surveyors in the area are working from a pretty substantial backlog. In my case, right now, it's about 3 months. So I've already got jobs contracted out probably 3 months. And if suddenly this ordinance were passed tomorrow, some of those jobs that I've contracted based on the current ordinance, now suddenly I would have to go back and re-quote those jobs to comply with the new ordinance. So I guess my suggestion would be whatever that time frame is from the time it passes this committee and goes to county board, that there should be some sort of a grace period in there probably, so that surveyors aren't in violation and their quotes would still hold. So, and maybe this wouldn't even get to be an ordinance, an official ordinance, until sometime next year. I don't know what that time frame is.
We'd still want, you know, I think with any ordinance, we need to have Attorney Wendell look at it. Even though it's just one part of it, I think, you know.
But let's make sure we point that concern out to Attorney Wendell.
Yep,
And
definitely.
And obviously, if this continues to progress, there's gonna need to be some sort of an official notice go out to the area surveyor saying,
Right.
the ordinance is going to change, and here's what it's gonna take to comply with it in the future, and this is gonna be the date that it's gonna become effective. That sort of thing.
So you guys will follow up on that? Okay, great. Any more questions from the committee? All right.
And you have to take into consideration, this is like a zoning change to the parcel. So if they're selling the parcel and it's gonna remain in that zoning, like if I'm selling you 40 acres and it's ag forest and you're buying it at 40 acres and it's ag forest, then there's nothing.
If you're at 30, yeah.
But if you're gonna change a part of it to residential, then that's when we're gonna ask you to have the certified survey.
Got it.
I mean, a lot of the lands now are being sold to higher bidders outside of the county, and this is just our fail safe that we can see what's going on and we know what's going on. So
How is the language gonna address the remainder of the parcel if it doesn't get changed as far as zoning?
we can address that.
Make sure that they understand that they aren't required to have a survey on the entire thing, only on the parcel that they're taking out. to
And that's
change.
what it says, the change in zoning of a parcel. So it's zoning. So if it's going from ag forest to residential, then the ag forest remains there. It's only when the zoning is going to change.
And I think there's in the ordinance, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd. Existing parcel, how do I want to say it? I know, like, if somebody's buying the parcel next, it's going
If
to
it's
adjoin.
transfer from land to neighbor, that part.
Adjoining
we're not touching
is
that.
what it refers to.
Yeah.
We're not.
Conveyances between adjoining landowners, like if you want to sell your neighbor, let's say you have 40 acres and you want to sell your neighbor an acre of it, you don't need to go through any approvals for that. That's protected under, well, there's an exemption in the county land division ordinance now to allow that, and that's also protected under Wisconsin statutes.
Right.
So that people can be able to resolve boundary line issues and so forth without having to go through a bunch of different approval steps.
And I can ask him too about, you know, if somebody has a parcel and they sell off part of it, that would be, they'd have to, yeah, we'll have to, that's something I never, we gotta make sure too, that, like, if you sell off, it may have to be rezoning if you had a 40 and you sell off 6 and you keep 34, that's where we may have to look at.
But as long as the zoning doesn't change. Right. So if the zoning remains and you sell that.
Well, if it goes below 35, technically it's supposed to be zoned ag residential.
And then you're talking a lot more expensive survey.
So that's something we may have to look at.
Yeah, so if there's let's say somebody has 35 acres now and they're zoned ag forestry, which is compliant, but now they're going to sell, let's say, 2 acres to their neighbor. The conveyance between adjoiners is allowed, but that would trigger a rezoning of the parent parcel, which would then trigger the CSM ordinance. So while they would be allowed to sell that land to their neighbor, because they're taking their original parcel under that minimum parcel size for the particular zoning at the time, then they're gonna have to have a CSM and a rezone on what they have left.
So we'll have to talk to, work on language, might have to talk to attorney about that one.
But not 2 CSMs, just a
No,
rezone.
they're saying, yes, that would be a CSM and 2 lots.
You could do it that way, but the piece going to the joiner doesn't have to be a CSM.
Right.
Okay,
But the piece that's left, because it's gonna have to be rezoned then, is gonna have to be a CSM.
I thought I understood this. No, I'm not.
No, I understand. I think that's something we need to talk with Attorney Lindell about.
All right, so this may come back to us then.
Yep. We're in no hurry about that. We just want to start getting,
Do you feel like we should table it or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And we'll talk to him about adding this and talk about a couple other people to put that in as well.
So I forget, if we table it, do we have to vote on that or is just tabling it?
I think. To table. Well, you have a first and second to approve, so I think you need to amend that.
You just don't have to take any action on it,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. All right,
yeah, I would, yeah, that would be preferred.
sounds good. All right, so next on our agenda then?
Yes, it's about, the farmland preservation. Corey couldn't be here today. Anyway, it's about a couple of, the self-certification, people not, meeting the, it's actually, there's a line on the non-compliance, says landowner failed to certify compliance as required under state statutes. This is a self-compliance. So we've had a few people that haven't. So Corey sent letters to a bunch of people that were out. A couple people decided to do voluntary noncompliance. She had Steve and several that didn't respond, and then she had a couple that did respond. One of them was, I'm not gonna read all the names, it's the Dan and Helen Burns Life Estate property. And one of the daughters called and the self-compliance was sent to the person, the sibling that lives on the farm. They just kind of left it sitting there and never letting the siblings know. And so Therese Deckard called and said, hey, we need to, I don't even know, I don't think she's online. She said the recipient at the mailing address we previously had on file was disregarding the mail, and as a result, the annual self-compliance certification was never submitted. Therese Deckard happened to stop at the old address in time to see the letter regarding the notice of noncompliance. It was at this point that Therese contacted her office, explained the situation, requested that the mailing be changed. It should be noted that last year, year before, Therese did had submitted the compliance, so it was just on time. And she's been talking with the person who's farming it to make sure that they got the nutrient management plan completed on it. So Teresa's asking for us not to give her a chance to get back in compliance and not issue a notice of non-compliance for that one.
Okay.
And Corey has since gone in and put Teresa's address in as the mailing address instead of the text address.
Then there's no action on our part then?
Yeah, you'll have to decide whether you want to issue a notice of non-compliance. This is the appeal. So we're saying that they need to be issued not notice of non-compliance, but you can say, no, we don't need to issue that.
I guess one thing I was gonna mention for this agenda item is, you know, we have this map on the zoning website of the farmland preservation map. I can't find the farmland preservation plan or where that information is.
Okay, that was done by the former zoning administrator, and I've located it sort of in our files.
You see my point?
Yeah, and so the farmland preservation plan is the countywide plan, and that's what, I'm gonna be working with Troy, Maggie,
Yeah.
and Southwest Regional to update that this next year. And then we'll have it, and we'll have it online, we'll have it on our file, so we're gonna get it back to where it needs to be.
Which is great. I'm just saying if we have something current, I'd like to see it. And for us to make final decision on stuff like this, I don't.
This part is really not part of that.
No, but the compliance, the issue of non-compliance form, I haven't seen that form, see how.
That's, we get it from the Department of Ag website.
And I think it should be in our packet if we're gonna be looking at it this month. So, if we need to take action on this one, I guess we'll do the best we can. But in the future, I'd like to see the actual form to understand, just to learn how it works.
I can put it in the packet, what the form looks like. It's just, it lists the tax parcels and what's the non-compliant stuff. And I can put that, I can have Corey print out one without the names on it, parcels on it, and we can stick it in the folder.
Okay.
But in this case, they just failed to certify, and so this is one that was mailed to the wrong address. The same thing with Northern Border. They had the same thing with the tax address was for a different person than what the LLC is. So, she's saying that she's been working with them about making sure that everything's kosher and we get them back into compliance. Just with it's kind of our fault that they got mailed to kind of both parties' fault. They got mailed to the wrong address.
So you're asking us to,
Not issue notice of non-compliance for those
Right.
parcels.
in other words, we're gonna kind of honor the appeal.
Yep.
Okay. Got that? All right. Can I have a motion to approve the appeals? Is that the right term? Approve
Yeah.
the appeals.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Ms. Fleming moves, Mr. Schoonover seconds. More questions? Okay.
Does this happen often?
We have some every year that don't, and we've just, Corey, finally, we went to get worked, I can't talk today. Worked together and we decided that we'd go this route to try to get, kind of clean up the records, and if they're not going to be work at trying to get things in compliance, then this is the way we have to go. And the first thing is the fact that they failed to self-certify. The next one is Wieland and,
We have to vote on this one first, because we put,
Sure,
we put it on the table, so.
yep, vote on these two. Northern Borders LLC, and then there's a whole long, it's the Daniel and Helen Burns Life Estate.
So there's
Vote
three.
together.
There's if you want to vote on them each separately, the one would be Daniel and Helen Burns Life Estate.
It sounds like it's all the same situation.
Yep,
They are,
So
okay.
let's just vote on them as a group.
yep.
Okay.
And any more questions on that? All right, all those in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
And then I've got two more that are appealing. One is Randy Wheeland, Robert Wheeland Life Estate, and he sent a letter. The renter they're in compliance. They've been sending, the renter, Mike McGlynn, has been continually submitting the CRP, goodness gracious, nutrient management checklist. But it was, the forms were sent to dad's address, dad's health decline, suffered dementia, and things got pushed aside. So, she's been working with, the son, and she feels that this one should be approved, not to do a notice of non-compliance. Because of, the father, things are in compliance, the father just,
this is separate from the first three,
yep, first two.
first two. Are there any more after this one?
There's one more. It's James and Mark Zerfus. And he thought he had sent them in, but he's got an updated nutrient management plan, but he just forgot to get it in. So he did turn in an updated one.
So what action do we need to do for these two?
Same.
Just, I would approve the variance from not issuing a notice of non-compliance.
Okay. All right, Mr. McKee moves, Mr. Schoonover seconds. All those in favor of approving these, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Can I make a note?
yes,
The document that you were talking about before, about putting it out there so we could see what it's like, I would suggest maybe putting an admin document and then putting that in there. So in the future, if we had another one, instead of trying to remember which month that was in to go back and look, or for you to put it in again, you put it in an admin, it's just always there for us to review. Just a blank document.
This form here.
Yeah, just a blank document, so
Yep.
we're familiar with it. That
Yep.
or any other documents that you feel are relevant.
And then I've got a list of, I can read them off to you. Steve Banker, Bluffview Farms.
wait, what are these?
These are ones that didn't get back to Corey.
How many of these are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And, okay, and they are,
They have not submitted and did not contact Corey to appeal.
so they're in progress?
Nope. So they would be issued a notice of non-compliance based on not meeting the failure to self-certify.
When was the deadline?
Deadline was January 31st.
It's past that.
Yeah.
So what happens when one of these is issued?
I sign them, they get submitted to the state, and they can't get the tax credit unless they come back into compliance.
And you need our action in order for you to send those. And you recommend we,
Right,
yeah,
Can't we do this all in one group or?
yeah. And I didn't get these until after, so I could put them in the folder. The list.
please do.
I will. It hit late and I knew it wasn't gonna get to you guys in time, so.
All right.
So how many notices did they receive during the time, and did
Two.
they get 2 notices? You've not gotten any return from that?
And then actually, these guys got a third notice saying that they were gonna be issued things if they didn't.
So the motion would be to approve you guys sending them on compliance?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a,
So moved.
Mr. Kelly move, Perry moves, Mr. Schoonover seconds. Questions? All right. All those in favor of them taking that action, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
So the next one is, every year we apply for what's called Lake Monitoring and Protection Network Grant. It's an aquatic invasive species grant. And it helps us do with the Clean Boat, Clean Waters, snapshot day, education, looking at signage at boat landings, working on purple loosestrife. And every year I have to apply for a grant, and every year DNR is requesting that we have a resolution. So it's really, I'm not really asking for approval for it says the grant, but actually it's the resolution to take to county board.
All right.
And the only thing is I did make a minor change after everything went in. I did find out from them, like, I got the email like late Friday that we do not have to now have to have a resolution every year. Because what resolution is basically saying how who is authorized to do all the work. Basically, it's my position. So they said we could do like 3 to 5 years. So I'm gonna I put in there, well, it's not in that one, but I put in that this be further resolved that this resolution will cover grant years 2026 through 2028. So we don't have to bring this to the county board every year at this time. We can just submit the grant application.
But you need for us to move it on this time.
Yes.
All right, could I have a motion? Ms. Hendricks moved. Shrink seconded. Seems pretty straightforward, but I'm just curious, what did you find on snapshot day? I couldn't make it.
We went up by, on the DNR property up by 154 off of 58. Did we see purple loosestrife out there?
Yeah, there was some purple loosestrife in the cattails.
Lots of cattails. Reed's canary grass, which is pretty normal around here. But she did find.
No big surprise.
No big surprises. Purple loosestrife a little bit there. We haven't had that there before, so we reported it, circled it, let them know where it was at.
Okay, all those in favor of moving this on to the county board, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. The fee schedule.
Okay, some of the things that definitely need to be changed. First of all, in the fee schedule, it's got permit for mobile sighting, tower sighting. And it says it's 3,000. Well, that's for co-location 1, and we need to have the second one in saying permit for mobile tower sighting co-location 2 for $500. The $500 is if they're doing upgrade to equipment that requires them to a little modification, but they're not replacing the tower itself. For some reason, the short-term rental license in here was down as $200. You guys decided $25. So that had to be corrected. There was really nothing in there for certain things on plumbing, like a reconnect to an existing, change of plumber, and revisions within, like, revisions of a site within a current soil test location. So they have to move it, they have to shift where it's at, but it's still within the bounds of the soil test area. So checked with the counties and came up with $300. Right now it's $550. So we changed it to 300 because those don't require as much from anybody else, from us to look at.
And this, sorry.
No,
But this has to go on to the county board.
yeah, I have to send it to Trish and then she takes it from there.
So wait, so you need action from us or not?
We will. I don't know if there's anything else that anybody wants to change in there.
Well, I wanted to make sure we had a chance to hear your concerns. I didn't quite catch which one it was.
Well, the fee that I had to pay to get the ball rolling to set up my carport.
Which permit was it? Which fee?
It would be,
Conditional use permit.
and where's that one at? Right here. Yeah, that was set when the former administrator was here.
So our rezones, conditional uses, and variances go through the Board of Adjustments. Those are all set at $500. Just to give you guys some explanation, it covers the board's time here It covers mailing out to the neighbors, it covers publishing the notices in the newspaper, all those sorts of things that go with this meeting.
And the research that has to be done by staff to carry that out. Putting in the mailing list.
It's a conditional use permit you're talking about, the 500?
In
Yeah.
their case it was, but it's the same for a rezone or a variance, they're out.
I just want to make sure I know which fee was it you guys had to pay? Which one of the fees was 500?
The conditional use.
CUP? Oh, okay.
I did look it up in the meantime, and Iowa County charges $750. So we're a lot less than they're comparable.
For a CUP? Okay.
Well, Grant County doesn't charge anything.
That I didn't look theirs up.
Should have looked that up.
Looked up one during meeting, so.
Just put my
They don't,
2 cents.
they don't charge at all?
Well, when I went down there to order the carport, was $105. That was the total fee to set up a carport in Grant County. And the lady at Fenimore, where I bought this particular carport to order it, which was like 2 months ago, said that was excessive in her hindsight that she saw. There's $500, plus I have to pay another $100 building permit. So the total will be $600. Just to put up a carport, which isn't permanent.
Why is there a CUP for a carport?
Because it was if they'd been, they already have another building, or they have the house, they have another building, so our ordinance requires that if they have another, zone residential, you can have a building and then one accessory building.
Right.
This makes this a second accessory
Oh,
building.
the second building is the CUP.
Yeah, just like one we already approved. So we had to approve one
Yep.
for
Yep.
a second.
Wow. All right, so anyway, any,
I mean, that we can do some more research on, but we can look at it for next year. I mean, because I have this, I can see what other counties would charge for their conditional use and their,
well, the challenge is, we have, no matter what the changes are, we have one CUP fee.
whether it's like with the time we've spent with Afton on this whole, we put a lot of time in that one.
Yeah.
So we can't just adjust saying, oh, so much per hour. I mean, that's the.
Right, the alternative would have a different fee for every kind of thing you did, which would get complicated.
Yeah, so I mean, I mean, we won't have time. That's one thing we can look in for next year. Making adjustments. In the meantime, I can talk to other counties and see what they charge for initial use, rezoning, variances, what other counties charge.
If they do any general breakdown of CUPs, find out if you don't mind, but
Nope.
for now, you're stuck.
Yes,
Grant County's 300.
Pardon me?
Grant County's 300 for their conditional use.
Yeah.
and I have 500 for Sauk County with an additional
Okay, I know.
250 for reposting for a second hearing, but 500.
We'll look into it some more, but for now, that is what it is. But anyway, we need to move this on to the county board, the fees as it is, unless you guys have any more changes. Yes.
Oh, I'm just gonna make a
Okay.
motion.
Larry Fleming's moving, Larry second. Any more discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay,
I'll send these to Trish and what's the new financial person, because they'll be taking it to county board.
okay.
Can't think of her name. I see her. Yeah. So,
We're almost there.
yep, the next is we went through. We've been the last few years set the meeting dates for the following year, just because we always have to change the meeting, because the first Monday in September is always Labor Day. And then, because the December county board meets early in December, and we have to have 2 weeks between this meeting and that, I have to always change that one, so, I think it may change some of the deadlines I might have screwed up on, but we've got the Board of Adjustments and the committee dates for the committee for this next year, unless you see anything that needs to be changed. Then we've got it on your calendar ahead of time.
So this is just information. We don't need to take action.
Don't need to take action, but I just want to,
Right.
so you guys have it in front of you,
Yep.
so you can put it on your calendars.
Yep, for sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
what about the last Monday of each month? Same time for meetings?
I'm not with you.
Then we wouldn't have to change them because Labor Day.
Yeah, we have to make sure, yeah, although we work for county board.
I think the reason that that's probably done is because it's like 10 days or whatever before the board. If we change it one more week every single month, all those that send their information that 1 week would have to wait an additional month. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good in theory to do that, so it's always like that, but I think that's
Is
why.
it just a Labor Day?
Usually, it's always Labor Day and then,
4th of July.
and sometimes, like, there's sometimes other holidays, but mostly it's, like this year we had a few extra, but it's always Labor Day and it's always the one for the December meeting. It's always our December meeting that we have to meet a week earlier because of, county board.
No other county committee has this 2-week minimum like we do. And that's what, depending on which day of the month that Tuesday hits, sometimes we have to do this.
So we'll have our December meeting and
We'll have it this month, we'll have it at the end of
Yeah.
this month. We have 2 meetings in November
Yeah, she's got it.
and 2 meetings in August.
Okay, duly noted. Where are we at now?
The last one for, it's the wildlife damage,
Okay,
setting the commodity price, and then the 80% harvest date. So I'll let Greg, well,
Yep, what we have that's involved in claims this year, we only have one commodity product that we have to price, and that is hay. For Richland County, and so the price that I caught from basically Fenimore, hay market is the most competitive for our area. And, so did they get the prices?
yeah, it's on the far, it's $180 a ton, so you put down.
So the price that I gave you there is the average for where prices are right now in hay that we would be, using as a commodity. Have that a claim on that. You are allowed to change to whatever you feel it should be, or you can accept that number because it's the average that, I gained from my research. So we need a motion to approve it or change it.
And then also a motion to set the 80% harvest. So if that date comes in, it's more for corn and soybeans, but if somebody to come in now and say to Greg, my corn has been damaged.
Right. What it's designed to do is, in the past, we've had people who have left their corn up all winter, and then they'll call me in April and say, I have all this damage, you're gonna pay for it. And so if we set this date, that this is when 80% of the crop is harvested within Richland County, that is where we say, now you're using that as your overwinter storage and you're taking your own loss.
So I don't know,
As far as where I stand on stuff, it could be, anywhere 1st of November if you want it, or beyond. Put that date. Where this is for anyone calling for any damage they have.
to any of crops.
no, I'm just saying it's more than just alfalfa hay then.
No,
Right,
Yeah.
this is for someone calling me in April and saying, I left my corn out there
Yeah.
and now it's all gone in April.
I get that. I'm just trying to think what's a reasonable date for this year.
For this year, yeah, November 1st is a good date. It can be any time you guys choose,
Yeah.
and you put today's date.
Well, sorry, I guess I would need to get it on the table first.
Yep.
Motion to approve this. Okay, Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Toonover, and discussion. I'm just curious. How much does a big round weigh? I don't usually.
That's the ton. The price of
Okay.
that is the ton.
All right.
And this is like this is not like grass hay, this is like
This is
alfalfa.
alfalfa.
Oh, I know, I get it. Right. That's the only claim this year.
That's the only one. We've had so many farmers switch over to the one where they do not have public hunting anymore. When they choose that option, which we
Okay.
have quite a few, At that point, then I don't appraise anymore. They just get tags and they're not listed as public hunting on their property. And so they're able to control their own damage, but they don't get a payment for it.
Now, you still have to go out and say that there has been damage though, right?
Yes, I have to go out and make sure there'd be at least $1,000 worth of damage or DNR won't give them the tags.
Your reports go to,
They go to the biologist, which in this case is Annie McDowell. And she's the biologist for Richland and Grant County.
okay, all right. Does November 1st sound okay? Any other thoughts on that? All right, let's go with November 1st.
He's the expert.
Yeah. All right, all those in favor of approving these figures, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay,
And then you're choosing the alfalfa price at that same point with it, or is that a different motion?
We did them together.
we did it together.
Together, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Are there any more questions for me?
I don't believe so.
Do you ever have any problems with the apple records?
The apple orchards have not really gotten in the program, in, boy, it's about 8 years now. A lot of them, like,
Oakwood?
Oakwood, thank you, got fences through us, through the DNR program, and they put all those fences that you see all over along the roads there. That's part of the program, and that took care of them then getting tags to shoot deer. And so that's how the program kind of establishes itself and funds the need for those farmers. Okay, then the only other thing I need, Kathy, if you've got copies of the contracts so that you can get them signed. Let's get that done and I'll be out of here.
I'll need a copy of it once it's signed by the section chief.
Then I'll just get you copies.
Then I can take to the clerk's office.
Sign there and date.
Whoa, almost, yeah, almost messed up.
Your date. Sign. All right, you got it. Thank
All
you.
right.
You guys have a good day.
Great. Correspondence? No correspondence? Your agenda items?
We just got the one that we tabled, we're gonna visit that next.
You don't want the zoning one, right? That one?
Yeah.
Certified survey, yeah. Find out if we find any more information from Attorney Wendell.
I've got a couple. You don't need to tell us now, but maybe just give us an update on where we are with code inspectors.
Yeah, and the county surveyor.
Yeah, that both. Let us know next month if there's anything new on that. And then second, the county comprehensive plan. There's one chunk of that which has to do with land use, and it has a lot of things that your department would be involved with. And the Executive Finance Committee agreed that the county needs to look at that comprehensive plan, which we passed last year, and see where we are with things. Maybe select some things to try to focus on this coming year, 2026. So next month, if we could just start looking at that and seeing what we might try to concentrate on for the next year.
Where is it located somewhere I can pull it off to look at?
It's there's a link to it on the county's homepage.
Yeah.
And I think our section starts on page 41. I mean, there's other elements to the comprehensive plan, but the one that we would be involved with is on page 40. It starts on page 41.
And that would be too with and that gets, some of that stuff would get incorporated in the farmland preservation, county farmland preservation.
Well, we'll have to look at that. We'll have to look at that, but you're right, definitely.
Because that's why the farmland preservation plan follows a comprehensive plan, because
Yep, yep. Yeah, I can't wait to read the farmland preservation plan. Anything else? Any more agenda items?
Maybe update on the non-compliance of the farmland preservation.
Take care of it.
The stuff we just voted on, do we need to get updates on where they're at with that, or, I don't know.
I don't,
Especially the 4 that we gave the,
yeah, I'm gonna have Corey put together some stuff too on the,
that could maybe be under the reports as well.
right, there's yeah, and then have her give a report on her monitoring, where they are monitoring.
Okay, motion to adjourn, anyone?
Make a motion.
Ms. Fleming moved, Mr. McKee second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're done.
What is the diagram for you? Area line for that? So it is changed.